6, 7.
Not let me do my background.
Oh my goodness.
8, 8. Yeah.
Welcome to the Hotties episode, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice crowd. Sam Bixby is on fire today. I
That's
love
right.
it. Sam Bixby.
Oh, gosh.
We have our judges kind of don't know what to expect here, so don't let me down. Who would like to go first? Who'd like to talk?
I will.
Go for it. Carol.
Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, indeed.
Hey.
Hey.
So you said hot, right?
I said hot. Are you somewhere really warm today?
The theme is hot, but it is hot here. We're in Sea Island, but something hotter is coming our way.
Uh-oh, must be your husband.
Here it is. Can y'all see?
Oh, well,
Can you see Jim?
Yes. Hey, Jim.
Hello.
Are you the pool boy?
I am.
He's one. Carol, he's one of the pool boys. We have others who will make appearances. Gavin? Can you see everyone here? And another hot pool boy, Gavin.
Hello, Gavin. Welcome. We're having a cocktail. How are you?
So if you need any others, as the program comes in, we can add more.
Well, we may need cocktails, and we could always use an extra pool boy. So
all right,
give Jim and Gavin a little job for us. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Gavin.
Thanks, guys. All right, we got some other people waiting. Let me let them in. And who else wants to show off today? You know, I added a little caveat this week on the Facebook page, and I keep doing this because I feel like this is important. If you do a little homework on the featured destinations for any week, if you do a little research, if you come up with some understanding before the call, you're going to get some extra credit. So we're going to add that element so that the dresser uppers aren't always the same people, right? We want some people that do, study the destination. Let us know what you think. Hey, Cheryl. And how are you? Good to see you. I never really know how to look at everybody. Whoever dings in is the person who dominates my screen. So I'm going back to gallery view. Who else wants to? Sam, I think you're just itching.
Mine is simple. I'm hot as hell, but I thought that it kind of represented 2020 also. The devil and hell might just wrap up the whole 2020 hotties.
You might want to repurpose that outfit for the rest of the Hottie series because it is actually pretty perfect. And please take a selfie of yourself or a screenshot with the flames in the background. That has to be our front and center photograph. That has to be it. I see the Meachams are back in the spirit of things. Randy, what's going on with the little cute outfit there? Unmute yourself so you can talk to us. We can't hear you.
Baby.
Yeah, baby. Unmute.
What am I doing?
Hey.
Unmute myself. How do I do that?
The little thing, the microphone with the red slash through it. There you go.
Nope. There you go.
Is not muted. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, I thought the theme was hot fashion. So
Well, it could be that. It could be that.
if you're staying in a hot hotel, you got to look right. So I'll be just hot fashion for a 4 or 5 property.
Are you calling in from your haberdasher or what?
Actually, a condo in Breckenridge, Colorado.
Okay. So that's a shop window you have behind you?
That's just a neat little photograph I pulled off the internet.
Very cute, Randy.
Laurie, you'd fit in perfectly at Rosewood, London.
Well, unfortunately, we're not giving that trip out this week, Brad, but you can speak to your colleagues. You never know. Let's see. Who else? I saw some other really cute outfits. Gallery.
I'll go. It's Kara. I need to explain myself because this is called COVID hot, guys. COVID hot. I'm the Hotamita COVID edition. Nobody really cares what you look like anymore. Basically, you're drinking bottles of wine from home with like zit cream on. So that's what I'm going for. This is not hot in 2020. This is the hottest it's gonna get.
Okay, take a selfie, please, right this moment, because that's really hilarious. Randy, you too. You too. Carol Knoll, get that pool boy back over here. See the waiting room.
Hi.
People in it. Hey, you're hot. That's what she meant by put on your heaviest sweater. That
exactly. So I'm sitting here in Breckenridge, Colorado.
Yeah.
And of course, this is what's trending very hot in Breckenridge. And I'm telling you, it is super hot right now.
I'm sure you're breaking into a glowy sweat. Is it?
Exactly.
What's it really doing? Is it snowing or what's it doing now?
Not yet. Actually, the colors are beautiful. All the aspens are changing. It's beautiful.
Well, as long as our judges, which is a team of judges today, and Kelly McAllister, have taken full measure of your outfit, as soon as you take your selfie, you can go put on something comfortable. They're uncomfortable for you. That looks really suffocating. Hey, Steve Parrish.
Hey there, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing? Good.
I'm doing all right. I got something really hot, but since I didn't get it especially for this occasion, I'll keep it to myself. But I came down with shingles earlier this week, and it is hot, hot, hot. And I would show it to you, but it would make you throw up to see it.
That is not the kind of hot we're looking for.
No, it's not the kind I'm looking for either.
I think Ebony Waterman's got something going on in her background and her hairstyle. What's going on, Ebony?
Nothing. I just felt like being a little sassy today, and my background is just Niner Nation for UNC Charlotte, so I'm not dressed up, but I wanted to have a nice headband on today.
Well, you look darling, and you know we like anytime we see a cute backdrop, so thanks for making the effort.
Awesome.
I don't know if anybody watched this, but I put in the latest Facebook post that we're vying today for 2 packages. So that's pretty exciting. We have both the Rosewood Little Dix Bay and Rosewood Miramar offering up a 2-night stay. So I suggested y'all might want to go out and do a little homework before this session to see if anybody did a little research or knows anything about these properties. So if that's the case, we're going to add that as extra credit. Does anybody see that post? We're going to do this from now on. So anybody got any tidbits of research or knowledge?
So I just have a personal story that way back when I worked with Rosewood Management as a client and had Caroline Hunt, the founder of Rosewood Properties, as my client and come to my property and hosted. It was her extended family, so it was pretty special to have the whole family there, and the pressure was on to have them on your property to make sure everything went well. So it's a pretty memorable program that I worked on.
That's awesome, Sam.
That's a good one.
Awesome. Yes, a very good one. I'm sure our Rosewood judges are very impressed with that one.
Yeah, this is probably like 2007, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know if we have anyone. I don't know if anyone on the call has had Caroline Rose Hunt at one of their events.
Yeah, it was. We pulled out all the stops knowing she was coming.
Yeah, I hope you're at the mansion, maybe.
No, I was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They came to us.
Oh,
not one of their properties. So that was even more pressure.
Impressive, indeed. All right, anybody else? You may have noticed that Whitney is missing today, and that's frightening. You should all be nervous about that. But so far, it's going okay. What she generally says is, welcome, everybody. We're really glad to see you. Most of you are familiar faces, but if you haven't been with us before, could you please speak up, say hi to everybody, tell us where you're from? Is there anyone who's a first timer today? No? Tom Schwinden. Ask to
first timer.
Hey, you're a first timer, and you know what? You're one of the first 5 as well. Tell us where you're from.
From Orlando, Florida.
Good.
Conference Direct.
Great. Well, we're super glad you're here. Please let the other Conference Direct peeps know we're doing this. We'd love to see them. And Debbie Funderburk, have you been with us before?
I haven't participated in any of your virtual events, but I have participated in your live events.
Yes, I know you have. That's why I
Birmingham.
jumped on your
Yes.
name. Well, welcome. We're glad you decided to kind of join us. We hope that you will make this a weekly ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. All right. Well, I think everyone knows what the Zoom protocol is by now. You should mute yourself unless you want to speak when the presenters are talking. After they're finished, you can unmute yourself because it's sort of a free-for-all at that point. I want to say a special hello to Kelly McAllister, who seems to be, I don't know, got a sunset behind her. That's appropriate. Hey, Kelly.
Hi, honey.
Thanks for being here. You've got 3 co-judges today, Cal. You have Jennifer Jones. Jennifer.
Hi, everyone.
I'm going to introduce them officially in a minute, but you've got Jennifer Jones, you've got Aaron Kelly from the Rosewood Miramar.
Hi, everyone.
And then you've got Brad Simmons. He is with Little Dix Bay. Not only is he with them, he is the director of sales and marketing, the Guide and Know. So you all are going to chat offline because they don't know any of these folks. You'll chat offline about what you think. All right. So as you know, we give a little special treat to the first 5 to log in every Wednesday. We ask you to wait till 3:55, but the first 5 get a gift from Rosewood today. Those folks are Carol Nall and Kathy Richards and Mike Gretto and Tom Schwinich. Say your last name for me, please.
Schwinden.
Schwinden. I scribbled the last syllable, so now I can't read it. And Patrina Lawrence. If you would, please email me at carol@retreatsresources.com with your physical mailing addresses. I'll make sure Jennifer gets them. You will get the following lovely item from her. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Carol. Everyone will receive a Rosewood mug, so you will be ready for your next webinar, whether you're with clients or other industry partners.
Whether that contains coffee or
whatever you want, yeah.
All right, well, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Jennifer Jones, who is the Global National Director of Group Sales. I know I bungled that, Jennifer. I'm so sorry. Jennifer is your responsible go-to person for all things Rosewood in North America as it relates to group. We are super happy to have her as a partner. Some of you may know Angela Goodell in Texas. She has been our Rosewood partner for the last decade or 2, I think. And Jennifer is going to inherit some of her property. So that encompasses many of you, and we wanted you to get to know her. This session of Hotel Hotties, as you probably realized, is dedicated to people who have been designated by Conde Nast Traveler for 2020 hot list. And the hot list is simply those hotels around the world that the travel professionals and editors of Conde Nast magazine most look forward to. Fresh openings, new eyeballs, new excitement around hotel openings. So you can always count on those folks who are on the hot list this year to win many accolades and have lots of publicity and attention going forward. There are a number of those in North America this year. 2 of them in North America are part of the Rosewood Hotel Group. 1 of them in Hong Kong also was designated with that award. And we just want to make sure through this series of events that you all are in the know about the newest, latest, most buzzworthy hotels. That's our job, to make sure you know who to contact for information related to all 3 of these wonderful places. We'll have 2 more in this series later in October, but this week we're featuring the 2 hotties from Rosewood. Jennifer, please introduce your partners.
Great. Thank you, Carol. Hi, everyone. I think I know a few of you, but I'm Jennifer Jones. I'm Director of Global Sales and handle accounts for the brand in the Eastern US. So from Eastern Canada down to the Mid-Atlantic to a couple states, the Southeast and in Florida. I don't do New York or New Jersey or Delaware. So I joined the company about 3 years ago. I had a long career with Four Seasons Hotels. And in between, I had a brief stint in the cruise industry. So I was an independent contractor. So I'm based in South Florida in Boca Raton, and I look forward to getting to know all of you. So I just want to do a quick introduction to my colleagues. Aaron Kelly is with our Rosewood Miramar Beach. Kelly? I'm Aaron. I'm looking at Kelly.
It's okay. I go by either name at this point. Welcome, everyone. Like Jennifer said, I am Erin Kelly. I represent our Rosewood Miramar property. I have been with the property since pre-opening, so really saw the property transform to what it is today. I'm excited to share a little bit more later.
And then also with us today is Brad Simmons from our Rosewood Little Dix Bay in Virgin Gorda. Brad?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and cheers. As I said before you all arrived, I'm embarrassed that I have a martini in a Starbucks cup. That's a COVID cocktail for you, so I don't know what to do about it. But I've been with Rosewood for almost 8 years. I'm with my third property now with Rosewood Little Dix Bay, and we were very excited to reopen that property after 4 years back in January of this year, and we'll now be reopening it again in a few months' time. So looking forward to telling you about that in a little while. So good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, great. All right. So Carol, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Does that sound good? And then we'll,
perfect.
okay, perfect. So hopefully some of you may be a little bit familiar with our brand or have had some programs. One moment. Let me go ahead and see if you guys can definitely see this. All right, so I probably will spend about 10 or 15 minutes kind of doing a brief kind of brand overview, talk about a couple of our different offers and which are some benefits that you can kind of share with your clients, and then turn it over to first Erin and then to Brad. The one thing that I think you'll find, or that I asked to remember about Rosewood, is our sense of place philosophy. So if anyone knows a little bit about Rosewood, this is about being, every property is kind of very customized and individualized, and you'll really know that you are at that particular destination or location. One moment. So as I mentioned, we kind of did some introductions for everyone that's on the call today. We started at Rosewood at our Rosewood Mansion on Turtle Creek, and as Sam mentioned, Caroline Rose Hunt was our founder. So 40 years ago, she founded the mansion on Turtle Creek. First, the property started out as a mansion, and then we added on a restaurant and guest rooms, which I think is pretty indicative of a lot of our hotels with a very strong residential feel and atmosphere. We are located across the globe. We have 28 hotels. The easy way to remember that is that we have half of them, 14 of them in the Americas, and then everything else, 14 hotels between Europe and Asia. So I think a lot of people may know some of the properties, but may not necessarily know they're a Rosewood. We have the Carlisle on the East Coast in New York City on the Upper East Side, quintessential, great little gem of a property next to Central Park. Also on the East Coast, we have the Washington, D.C. property in Georgetown. In the Caribbean and in the Atlantic, we have, Brad will talk about our Little Dix Bay, Bermuda, and Baja Mar. Going west, we have the Rosewood Inn of the Anastasia, which is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. In Northern California, we have 2 hotels, our Rosewood Cordoval, which is a lovely golf property. We have Rosewood Sand Hill, which is more of a corporate location in Silicon Valley. And then Rosewood Miramar Beach, which is, Erin's going to talk a little about that. In Canada, we have our Rosewood Hotel Georgia in Vancouver. Most of our hotels are under 250 guest rooms, so a nice group size of 10 to 100 rooms is really a sweet spot for us. And if you have anyone going outside of the US or Canada, we do have 3 properties in Mexico: Las Ventanas in Cabo, our San Miguel de Allende, and also our Rosewood Mayacoba, which is in Riviera Maya. We are on an exciting growth plan. Caroline Rose Hunt sold the company in 2011 to a group out of Hong Kong called CTF, which stands for Chow Tai Fook. Our CEO, she's a 3rd generation family member. She's a granddaughter. Her name is Sonia Chang. She is Harvard educated, was one of Forbes 40 under 40, has 4 children, really a dynamic, inspiring woman, and she is our Chief Executive Officer. So she is growing the brand to probably about doubling our size in the next 3 to 5 years. A couple of announcements we wanted to mention that are highlight this summer. We announced our property in St. Bart's, Lake Wanahani, also becoming a Rosewood, and more to come in the next couple of years. So you can see by putting our new openings on here, it really kind of shows what a long view we have of the company. In Europe and Asia, we have Europe. We have 3 hotels: Rosewood London, as Rod mentioned, our Rosewood Castiglione del Bosco in Tuscany, which is Salvatore Ferragamo's private estate. And then in Paris, we have our Hotel de Crillon, which is in the heart of Paris and truly just a spectacular, almost like a palace. In fact, it was actually rated palace status. So I would put a Rosewood in a category of ultra luxury, ideal for, you know, retreats, smaller groups, incentive programs. Definitely kind of a higher level program. In Asia, we have quite a bit of growth as well. We have Hong Kong and Bangkok, which were new locations last year. Guangzhou just opened up at the end of last year as well. Beijing also, and growing quite a bit, you'll see there. In terms of openings, we actually have about 80% of our hotels are open right now, which is pretty exciting. Everything in black is what's open, and then the ones that are in orange are the ones that are yet to come, and most of them will be coming back online within the next couple months. The 2 other things I wanted to have you remember, we have some really fantastic offers out there. I think probably some of the richest in the industry. We are relaunching our Rosewood Rest Assured program. We enhanced it and actually put an update out probably this month. So if you have anyone who is looking for a group between now and the end of 2021, we're hopefully making it real easy to kind of get back in the game. A 10% room revenue is required only per deposit. You can actually cancel the program 60 days or more out with no penalty. If it's less than 60 days, you can apply those cancellation fees to a future group. And there's 25% attrition. So really, I think it's fantastic and hopefully very easy for anyone that's kind of thinking about 2021 meetings. Yeah. So yeah, and then if they're not ready to book, we also have Rosewood Rewards, which is our gift card program that was launched this spring. And it is, it could be used in lieu of a group travel program, and they're gift cards that are bought in bulk. So, and they also can be commissionable or have a rebate. The agreement is only a page and a half, really an invoice is what it is. And again, the recipient, the producers, the top winners, they have something in their hands that they could use, tomorrow or next week or when they're ready to travel at any Rosewood hotel globally. And then at least somebody is recognized for maybe some past efforts that they did. We also have a couple other offers. Our same time next year is for our multi-program offers. So anyone is booking two groups at a time, we definitely are encouraging and can offer some additional concessions. Our global give back is our where you or a client can donate 2% of the revenues, or you can actually get 2% back to the master. So again, it's an additional 2% on top of all the other concessions that you can be applied to the master. And then Rosewood Raise is our internal campaign that we launched in April for any associates that have been affected by COVID. So we've been giving back to that already. Our commitment to care program is our new health and safety protocols. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Erin with Rosewood Miramar Beach. Any questions about the brand or anything I can answer right now for anyone?
Jennifer, someone wanted to know what denominations or values how does your gifting program work, your gift card program?
US dollars. So for example, if someone has, like your client or the host is $2,000 per person for an award program, and there's 20 winners, it's 20 winners times $2,000, and you buy $40,000 worth of gift cards, and you can get either $4,000 in commission or $4,000 rebate.
Is there a minimum amount to have the gift card program put into place?
20,000.
20,000 is the minimum. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Sure, that's Carol Harvey. Anybody else have a question of Jennifer? All right. So Erin.
All right, I'm going to take us to Montecito.
Looking lovely out there in Southern California.
Yeah, exactly. little poolside. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. And I wanted to share here first, really giving a picture of our arrival experience at the resort. The property is brand new. We did open in February of 2019. I did join the pre-opening team, so was there long before anything that you see here on your screen was even there. So for us, it's really been a wonderful process to see the property come together, even though this destination has long been popular for the Hollywood elite and also for those in the surrounding areas. I want to now go ahead and show you a little video of our resorts. Okay, all right. Well, that just gives you a little nice overview and flavor of the resort. And for us, and what I really want to kick off showing you an image of our resort was highlighting the beach. It's really our most prized and premier part of the resort. We are the only property in the Santa Barbara area with true beachfront access. So for us, that's definitely far and away kind of what sets us apart from the competition. The building that you see here on the photo, this building off to the left, houses 26 of our beachfront accommodations. So that's a mix of guest rooms and suites. As well, included on the left here is our Caruso's, our fine dining dinner restaurant, and our Miramar Beach Bar, out looking to that beautiful Pacific Coast Ocean. For our property, we have 161 guest rooms. The way that the property was designed was really all centered around the manor house. The image that you see here is our entry into the property. When you look out to the right, you actually look directly out to the ocean. So that's really tying in like sense of place for the brand. This is a true sense of place for the destination and for Rosewood. Of the 161 accommodations, we do have 37 suites. All do have outdoor patios or terraces, which again gives a really good mix of accommodations throughout the resort. And the layout of the property also is an estate style format. So really you'll see a mix of bungalows, suites, and then those spectacular beachfront rooms that you saw. Sense of location. So our property is located in Montecito. I know many of you may or may not be familiar with the destination. It's often described as a really true secluded paradise with access to, of course, all the amenities that you would expect of a luxury resort and destination. And it's, of course, always attracted the Hollywood elite. We've had celebrities that have owned homes or currently own homes in the area. Oprah Winfrey, Kirk Douglas, George Lucas, Carol Burnett. I mean, just to name a few of those highlighted stars who really see the glamour and the awe of the area. As far as proximity to airports, so we're about 20 minutes south of Santa Barbara Airport and about 90 minutes north of Los Angeles Airport. So again, great access from both our local airport and our international airport. As you see here on the map, we have attractions that range from the Santa Barbara Zoo to the beautiful Santa Ynez wine country. So really spans a number of options for those who are looking for more leisure activities versus kind of tapping into the arts of the area. Guest rooms. So our guest rooms are all designed visually to bring the outside in. That was the biggest focus. So you'll see even in this image here, the tones that were used, lots of blues, yellows, neutrals to really highlight that natural beachside beauty combined with, of course, the luxurious furnishings that you'd expect. This image here is definitely highlighting one of our most spectacular accommodations of the resort. This is our beach house studio, so looking right out to the ocean. Sense of taste. So we have 6 different outlets throughout the resort, all highlighting different experiences. For example, Caruso's, our oceanfront restaurant, designed with an Italian style influence, sits just beachfront there, so that truly is going to tie in that high-end experience that our customers are looking for. But then as well, we have our offering of Scoop Shop for, you know, bringing out that childish flavor there by our family pool. Sense of gathering. So throughout the property, we do have a couple of different options as far as event space. For us, our desired, or shall we say, sweet spot for groups, I would say ranges anywhere from about 50 up to about 150 for groups, but we really can customize based on what we have on the resort. We have a number of outdoor spaces that really seem to suit our guests well. Being in California, that's a major priority of coming out to the resort. Our ballroom, Chandelier Ballroom on the resort, is 6,500 square feet in total, with a number of different options to break that into smaller spaces with the adjoining patio and lawn area to that space. Wellness, of course, spa. For us, we have our Scent Spa, the resort, 6 treatment rooms, as well as on the property, we do have 2 pools, our cabana pool and our family pool. So those are set just adjacent of the manor house as you arrive to the property. And as well, we do have a fitness studio located in the manor house for those who are looking to get a little bit of exercise. In the area, we do have access, like I mentioned, it's Santa Ynez Wine Country, just 45 minutes north of the property, so that offers a great options for an offsite. We do have great partnerships with a number of those wineries in the area. They also do feature, many of them do feature tasting rooms nearby the property, just a quick 5-10 minute drive. So even if guests do not have the option to spend that whole day in wine country, we do have access to that. We're just 10 minutes up the road is downtown Santa Barbara, with State Street offering a number of restaurant dining options throughout that area. On property, we do have our shuffleboard court, our bocce ball court, and a number of different fitness options for those who are looking for something a little bit more active. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague, Brad. Brad, take it away.
Oh, thank you. Let me just get my screen shared. There we go. And I'm not sure. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, did that wrong. There we go. Great. Can we all see that okay?
We can.
Thank you, Erin. I have to say Miramar Beach is one of the properties that I've been dying to get to. I had booked to get there in March earlier in the year, and that kind of went a bit pear-shaped. So, thank you so much for joining today. Just to reintroduce myself. So I'm Brad, Director of Sales and Marketing for Little Dix Bay. As I mentioned, I had previously worked for Rosewood London, opened that property in 2013. Then I moved to Vancouver to work on Hotel Georgia. And then I came to New York in 2019 to start working on the reopening of Rosewood Little Dix Bay. If you're not aware, this has a bit of a story. You know, it's been around since the early 60s. Rosewood have had it for about 20 years. We closed it in 2015 to do a renovation. It was actually the first major renovation for this property. It was $50 million renovation of this property. We were 8 weeks shy of opening it in 2017, and Hurricane Irma had a different idea for us. The silver lining of that is that when we finally got to open it in January of 2020, it was a much better property than we would have had 2 years earlier. You know, Rosewood had developed, our center place philosophy had really come together, and we have really genuinely created something quite phenomenal with this property that really captures the essence of the Caribbean, of the British Virgin Islands, and of the 1960s. It's like walking onto an old Sean Connery Bond set. This is what it feels like here at Rosewood Little Dix Bay. And as you know, we had to close it again in March, and we're now on track to open it, fingers crossed, on December the 4th this year. So we're very excited about reopening again. Here's a little video, just to give you a little taste of the beauty of Rosewood Little Dix Bay. A little sense of this property. So to give you some facts about it, this is a property that was the land was found by Lawrence Rockefeller in the late 50s. He came across this piece of land that basically sits in a half moon shape, and really was way ahead of his time in creating something that was sustainable and was good to the environment, and really created that barefoot luxury kind of term. And this is, this is 500 acres with 80 accommodations that simply run along the half-mile beach of Little Dix Bay. So when you arrive and your experience of the property is that you truly feel like you're on a private island. And if you don't know the British Virgin Islands that well, this is a very uncommercial area of the Caribbean. So the beaches are some of the most pristine beaches in the world. The waters are some of the clearest that you'll ever get the opportunity to dive within and see the most incredible nature. So it is really quite incredible when you get to experience this location. Some key facts for you. We have 80 rooms, suites, beach houses and villas. A little bit of an exclusive for you, actually. We're going to be having 2 new villas come in line, hopefully in Q1 of next year. And then we're going to have a 3rd new villa by Q4. So by the end of 2021, we'll be 83 rooms, suites, beach houses and villas. As I mentioned, most of these, 79 of them, run along the beach. So you literally can wake up, have your stretch, have your coffee, and be, in the sand and within the ocean within 60 seconds of getting out of bed. That's how close you are to the water and to that kind of private island experience. We also have 7 event spaces, but that also includes our restaurants and lounges. This is really an incentive driven property, and as a result we use all of our restaurants for groups, private events, weddings, and you know, beach parties and so forth. Location wise, if you're not too sure of the British Virgin Islands, we're just east of Puerto Rico. So we're on the island of Virgin Gorda. It's the third largest island within the British Virgin Islands, and we sit just on the southern part of the island, not too far from Spanish Town, which is the largest town in the area, and also near the Baths, which is a national park and beautiful location to visit while you're there. What I would always suggest, one of the best ways of getting to Rosewood Little Dix Bay is to fly via Puerto Rico, go into San Juan, and then get a little puddle jumper over to Tortola. Then what we do is we meet everyone in Tortola and bring you over by boat. And then it means that you arrive into the dock of Little Dix Bay. So it's again, it's an incredible experience. We are also, I can tell you guys now that we're just going into partnership with a new air concierge company, which will help with private jet transfers, seaplane transfers that are going to come in to just beyond the bay of Little Dix Bay, and then we can come and get you and then tender you into the resort. So there's some really good opportunities with that as well. Accommodation. One of the things that we really wanted to do, and one of the silver linings of the hurricane, is that we went back. We went back to original designs. We went back to the 60s kind of styling and created accommodation very similar to what Erin was saying, is where we bring the indoors, the outdoors in. So the colors, very like creams and whites and blues that capture the ocean. You know, we have artwork that's inspired by the 1960s. We have books that are about the countries that have influenced the Caribbean over the years, the stories of pirates. We have shells and trinkets that have been designed by local children within the region. This image in particular is one of our one-bedroom pool suites. So if you can't wait to get into the ocean, well, you can dip your feet into your own private pool as well. So just before I go into a sense of taste and our food and beverage, the one thing I would say, there are three major things that we wanted to do with the reopening of this property. One was elevate the level of service. The Caribbean can always be a little bit hit and miss, and we really wanted to make sure that we set a standard. We've done that by bringing in butler service across the whole resort. So you will be, when you arrive, you will be welcomed by your butler or butlers, who will basically be on the end of the telephone for you for the duration of your stay, whatever you need. So that's really pushed the level of service of the property. Again, the second thing is we really wanted to go back to the history and the legacy of what Rockefeller created here. So we've even, the wardrobe is all being designed to capture the 60s. I'm not sure how this ended up on my desk, but I was involved in this, and you've got tailored linen jackets and pocket squares. The ladies are wearing beautiful capri pants and 60s cut dresses. You know, we have guests that are already saying, like, we want to wear that. Like, you know, where did we get it? And then the third thing was food and beverage. Like, how do we really, you know, increase the level of food and beverage and the quality on a little island like Virgin Gorda? And we really went back to basics. You know, we went back to the countries that have influenced the Caribbean over the years. So this restaurant in particular, the Pavilion, very inspired by Indian, West Indian, African, European, dare I say it, some little British influences in there as well. So this is a restaurant that's very hearty, slow cooked food. We have a beautiful outdoor oven that's cooking kebabs and naan bread and beautiful. And of course you have the You have the money shot there with the winds coming in from the bay. The Reef House is a very much a farm to fork concept. We actually have our own farm on property, so we're growing salads, vegetables, herbs, edible flowers, fruits. We have our own chicken farm, so we have fresh eggs coming in every day. And then the sugar mill is all about the local fish. It's a very Mediterranean type tapas restaurant with beautiful handcrafted cocktails, lots of rum, lots of gin, which is my favorite, and for you, Carol, some good tequila as well. So we really wanted to elevate food and beverage here. Sense of gatherings. So let me tell you, before we opened this property, there was a bit of discussion on whether it should be a group hotel or not. Let me tell you, in the first 10 weeks of being open, we did 2 3-day buyouts at this property. A group at this property is fantastic. On average, we would be looking at 30, 40 rooms, but as I say, we are very open to doing buyouts. In this new world that we live in, this is also a very good property. Even as if it's fully booked, you can still be very socially distanced. There's a lot of space. We have 2 meeting rooms. We have the great room, which is more of a great for an indoor drinks reception, maybe a teleconference, a little board meeting. We do have the mahogany boardroom as well that can do 14 guests. But to be honest, this is about doing welcome receptions in the pavilion on the picture you can see there, going out to the beach and having bonfires and barbecues and using the sugar mill for your awards dinner, or using the gardens. We can put up some tenting and create an indoor event if you need it. But it's really about using the space around you and, doing events on the water and so forth. So we can be as adaptable as possible to create the perfect incentive at this property. We are also very lucky to have an incredible sense of Rosewood Spa. What is amazing about this is actually elevated. It's up on a cliffside. So we have 8 rooms that are built into the cliff, or with doors opening out onto a private terrace. So you can lie there and you can feel the breeze, you can smell the ocean. Our treatments are inspired by the sand and the sea. It is pure paradise. We also have an elevated yoga platform that comes out of the cliff face. So you can do sunrise and sunset yoga sessions. We have a brand new fitness center that has the most incredible cardiovascular equipment and weight equipment. And we are doing boxing, high intensity classes in there. We have 7 tennis courts. No, forgive me. We actually have 6 tennis courts and 2 pickleball courts. I've never played pickleball, but we have them. And we have a tennis pro on property. And then you have 2 outdoor swimming pools. We're also working on a concept that we will hopefully next year create a hiking butler. So we have 2 hiking trails that you can go on a walk with the butler, who will then tell you about the landscape, about the wildlife, and be able to tell you a little bit about the history of the region. And then finally, a sense of adventure. Well, to be honest, you come to Little Dix Bay, it's really about being in or on the water. We have every water activity available to you that's not motorized. So we can arrange diving, we have snorkeling, sailing, kayaking, paddleboarding. We have the hiking trails, as I mentioned. We have access to 7 private beaches. So we can take you across, whether it's a couple, whether it's a small family group, or whether it's a group of 40 people. We can take you across to an island. We can do a pig roast, take barbecue over, take picnics, bottles of champagne and beers, and you can have this true Robinson Crusoe experience on a private beach. And also, do leave Little Dix Bay. You know, let's take you to Willie T's and have some painkiller cocktails and jump off the boat into the ocean, go snorkeling, go to Soggy Dollar and have a few beers out there. You know, this is a place that you truly get to experience the true Caribbean, get a little history, get a little bit of European flair in there as well, being the British Virgin Islands, and yeah, soak up some sun. So that's Little Dix Bay. I hope that helps.
Wow, Brad, you whetted an awful lot of appetites, I think.
I hope you enjoyed it. It's worth a visit.
You're my new favorite guy, I can tell you that. Hey, we have some questions. Mike wants to know, who are your local partners, such as DMCs and other services that can create a unique experience from a visual standpoint as well as from a logistical standpoint? Where do you get your support?
Yeah, so DMCs has been a little bit of a hit and miss. They haven't really fully come back since the hurricane. There is one gentleman that we started working with called Sid, called Nova Anchor, I think is how you pronounce it. He worked with us on a couple of our initial groups in our when we first opened, and we were very pleased with him. And he's the one that I'm beginning to start to work with a little bit more. He actually does DMC work all across the Caribbean and Mexico. So that's who we're kind of committed to at the moment.
If you wouldn't mind sharing that information with either me or Jennifer, we'll get that out there.
Absolutely.
An important element, and I think you're right, it can be hit and miss, and you don't want them to make you look bad. So, Carol wants to know about the transfers from Puerto Rico to the BVIs. What's the process? What's the time elapsed? How long does it take generally? And what kind of cost is incurred to get folks from the airport to you?
Yeah, all depends on the timing of your flights, right? But effectively from Puerto Rico, you literally can get off your flight in Puerto Rico and get on the plane to either to Tortola, or you actually can go into Virgin Gorda as well. And you know, it's probably an hour at the airport, and then the flight's 30 to 40 minutes. It's very straightforward. You know, there are the flights generally around about the $400 to $600 mark, going from Puerto Rico into the BVI. We are trying very hard to try and get a flight directly from Miami into Tortola. We've been working on that. We have got quite close to that, but that's probably going to be about another year. You can also go into St. Thomas. That's a little easier from the US, but your transfers from St. Thomas to Little Dix Bay is about an hour and 20 minutes. So you've got longer on the boat, and we're not quite in a position yet to be able to do that transfer ourselves. So that's why we always recommend going into Tortola, and then the boat trip's about 20 minutes.
Great. And do you have a dock right there on your property?
We do. Yeah, we have a dock. We have 2 catamarans. Both can do about 30 to 40 people on each. And the transfer from Tortola is about 20 minutes straight into, in the picture behind me, you come straight into that bay. So that to me is your best opportunity, because the arrival experience is completely unique.
So fly to Tortola, get on a catamaran.
Yes.
Okay. Since sailing is such a big activity down there, what kind of nautical sailing types of programs do you offer?
We haven't done any yet. We're just working on that. We were just in the process of cementing our partnerships with some of the sailing companies. We've done some individual sort of family trips with the moorings. So staying with us for 3-4 days and then doing like a 4 or 5 day sailing trip around the islands. That works very well. But certainly what's really worked for us is then doing, for groups, is then going out onto a private catamaran and spending a day either going up to Necker Island or to Oil Nut Bay or like I said, going out to William T's, doing some snorkeling, having a few cocktails, and just enjoying the ocean.
And you own 2 catamarans that can do that.
We have 2. We use those for the transfers. So we have to be, depends on how busy they are. We have used it for a group as well. But what we would tend to do is rent, liaise with you to rent another catamaran, especially for the group.
Right. Great. It looks divine. Picture perfect paradise. Who else has a question of Brad or Erin or Jennifer? Anybody? Put it in the chat box. Nobody? Okay, you got a lot of great comments here, guys. They look dreamy. Both of them look dreamy. And we agree with you. These are the ideal kinds of properties for a post-COVID era experience where people are still a little bit nervous and want to be distanced, but want to be serviced as well. So these look like fantastic properties. And thank you very much for sharing this hour with us and being part of this experience. We really appreciate it. It's now time to go full screen again. And who else wants to show off? Because the judges, I assume, are chatting amongst themselves about you right this minute. Anybody want to say hi? Just say hi, Kay Mulkeen. Just say hi. Hi.
Can anyone share a fun fact about either Rosewood or any of the properties when you're kind of showing off your attire?
And then I also wanted to ask Kathy Richards, because she joined late, but it looks like she's got something fun going on too.
Kathy Richards, where are you?
I'm right here. Could I join what?
She said she'd like to see what you got going on there, Kathy, that she could tell by looking at her little wee picture that you were either in an aquarium or somewhere cooling off. What's going on?
I'm in an aquarium, of course.
You and some beautiful, have you got your scuba gear? What's happening?
I thought I wouldn't be able to breathe well with that, so I thought I'd hold off, just wear my sun hat.
Okay. Well, I love your backdrop. That's pretty. Who else, guys? Judges evaluating. Is the clock ticking?
We are. Thank you. Y'all gave us a lot of good looks today.
Okay.
And so I'll defer to the Rosewood team to go first whenever you are ready.
Okay, Jennifer, I'm going to let you be in charge of your colleagues. What's going on?
Okay.
What do you think? What did you enjoy this experience?
I thought
it was great.
They seem to be a little quiet. Maybe it's because everyone's just super nervous. I don't know. They've quieted down a little bit. Go ahead.
Any comments from anyone about anything else? The hotels, the brand?
Well, everybody's saying.
I kind of have a fun fact.
Okay.
So when I was telling my husband, we're relatively newlyweds, and I was telling him about it, he said, gosh, that sounds really familiar, Little Dix Bay. And then I was looking at it, he goes, oh, I think I've been there before. And I said, excuse me, have you? With whom? His first wife. But it was long ago. So I think I should get a chance. Okay.
Just making a good point.
I'd love to say that I've seen Mayakoba, and it's absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite properties down there.
Indeed, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yes.
No, wait, who else said that?
That was Kathy that said that.
Kathy, yeah, Kathy. Were you there for work or for personal?
I was there for work. I did a site inspection, and we were there for the day.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Mayakoba is one of the favorites among the Maui gym team internally.
It is a good one.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of the Rosewood properties that we really enjoy going to. And I was supposed to go to Baja Mar this April, and I was really upset that got canceled. So I'm looking forward to joining. And Brad, I was actually supposed to be there with a group of girlfriends this summer. So really excited to hopefully go back and see your property next summer.
You were meant to be Little Dix Bay this summer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We were just cruising over for a day because we had a house on one of the other islands. But yeah, I was excited to see your hotel.
Oh yeah, let me know next time you get the chance. But I would say to everyone that I think we're Erin, myself, and Jennifer are very lucky to work for this collection. We've it's been incredible to see it grow over the years, and what each individual property represents now. They're all very individual and all very special. Obviously, I'm very biased right now towards Little Dix Bay because we've gone through a tough few years, but it was when I was with Vancouver and I was offered this position, and everyone said, it's so beautiful, and I was like, of course it is. It's the Caribbean. You go and stand on the beach, and then you soak it up. You then get to understand how unique it is. You really feel the history there, and I urge you all. There's only going to be one winner today for the 2-night stay, but it goes without saying, if there's ever an opportunity that you guys want to go and visit and get the chance to either do a site inspection or have a couple of nights there, you just have to let me know. I want to get as many people there as possible to come and visit and be ambassadors for not just Little Dix Bay, but for Rosewood. And I genuinely mean that.
Great.
I want to echo that with Brad too. I think especially with this new environment, I had a chance to travel to Dallas, or Rosewood mentioned on Turtle Creek the other week. And I can't say it enough. I feel like, if we're not ambassadors of our industry, who is, So we do have, we can offer site inspection rates. And if you have a piece of business pending at one of the hotels, it's much easier to extend it complimentary. So please keep us in mind, and don't be shy. Feel free to ask me if you're, any of the hotels that are open. We would love to have you come see what it's like and stay there and offer a site rate. During the week, it's a little bit easier. Weekdays, a lot of people are getting away on weekends. So we really want you to kind of see what it's like.
Thank you.
Okay, so
that being said, who is going first on your selection?
Okay, all right. So I think I'm trying to read the chats and do all this at the same time, but I think the obvious, Sam, we'd love to extend a 2-night stay for you at Rosewood Little Dix Bay.
How can we not that?
Thank you. That's awesome.
Congratulations. Oh my goodness. That's lovely.
Great work, Sam. You look amazing.
I love the theme. I feel like with Halloween coming on, I have a 10-year-old son, so it's all about like Halloween costumes right now. And I love your idea, Sam, about like, this is 2020.
2020, yeah.
You have to have the backdrop. It just gives it, that's what kind of makes it, right?
Yeah, super cool.
And the face paint.
And let's see, I believe Erin also had a package.
Okay. Yes. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to say Carol. I want you to go to one of our hotels with your husband, not have a Rosewood experience somewhere else.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's great.
Congratulations. And then I think that I get the honor of awarding, I guess I'm going to go with just the most fantastic COVID hot preparation today. Kara, I mean, your creativeness is really...
We can't ignore Kara. She's got 1 million pairs of Maui Jims, but I guess she's going to start selling them or something.
She'll just have to give them back to me or refurbished. But Kara, that was great. That was
Gym has always been my goal for 2020.
Become a Maui Gym model. I love it.
Thank you. With Zit cream, that'd be perfect.
Well, I, for some reason, I got an incoming call, and so it kicked me off of Zoom. So I think that I'm still on audio, though. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
We can see you.
You can see me? Really? Well, I can't see you, so I have no idea what to do. I'll just pretend that this call is ending now, and it is. So wanted to say, first of all, a huge thank you to Kelly Mack. You were missed last week and did a noble job in your behalf, but we really miss you when you're not here. So thank you so much for continuing to support us.
I missed you.
Huge thank you for Jennifer, Brad, and Erin. I know that we have all been super excited to learn more about Rosewood and just the specific hotels, but also just to hear about the brand and your philosophy, your welcoming attitude. I think it just personalizes what we know to be, one of the finest hotel companies in the world, but you guys personalized that for us, and we're really, really grateful to you. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
If
Carol.
you've, anyone who was the first 5, again, that would be Carol Nall, Kathy Richards, Mike Gretto, Tom Schwingling, whose name I mangle, and Patrina Lawrence. Please send me your physical address, carol@retreatsresources.com, so we can get you your coffee mug. And next week, we are going to have a great program by the lovely and virtuous Nora Kandel. She will be back next week talking about Italy, people. So she has a property in Milano. She has a property in Rome. We're going to be talking design, food, and all things Italian. So look forward to hearing from Nuria. You know, her virtual trips are a treat. So please be back with us next week. Watch the Facebook page, watch your inbox, and please send me a selfie. You all look fabulous today, and I've got some great material for next week or for the Facebook page if you'll just be obedient little children and send me your pictures, okay? Right?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I can hear you. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Carol Null, is your email address the same?
Is she still on?
She is.
I cannot figure out why I can't get back on my video.
I'm here.
Okay. Is your email address still the same?
Yes, Carol Nall meetings.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'll send it over. I've got something for you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That was fun.
That was fun. Thank you, Carol.
This is my second painkiller.
Yeah, all right.
I never had one, and we went to the bartender, and Jim said, make something as fruity and as big as possible. And so
It has to last.
And so he got 2, and he didn't like it, so I'm having a second one.
And that just happens to be like the island drink.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
The first couple of sips of a painkiller are so delicious. You got that rum floating on the top. You got pineapple and creamy coconut and yum, yum, yum. By the time you get to the bottom of it, it's all sweet and
I know. I only drank, I go this far, and then I got a new one.
A new one. That's the idea. You just get the part with the fresh rum. And
She's doing it right.
Thank you, guys. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Carol. And thank you, Carol.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you in Italy next week. Feel
Oh, fabulous.
All right.
You
Ciao.
bet.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Carol.
What's going on, girl? I'm sorry. I was just wrapping up our Zoom call.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Wednesday. Right, you have that. Oh, no, nothing important. I just wanted to let you know that I did put in your invoice.
That's always a
to my
nice
accountant.
thing. Thank you.
And I know that she was out like a few days, so it may just be like another week or so, but it is being processed.
You just don't worry about that. It's fine.
I talked to Bruce earlier today.
Oh,
as
how's
well.
Bruce doing? Is he still
He's
depressed?
good. Well, he was a little bit, but we had a few good laughs, which was good. So.
Is he still in
But then he was-
Florida, or did he go to?
Yeah. No, he said he's still there. He said he's furloughed until January.
Mm-hmm.
But, and he just said, if you hear of anything, he said, I've updated my resume. He said, but, you know, he's like, I don't want to jump at like really starting to look, but he said, I do, you know, just want to put some feelers out just in case.
Right. Yeah,
You
you
know,
know,
and
you
it's
never
very
know what
hard.
to do, because this is a hotel that would love to preserve him. I spent an hour on the phone with the girl that's taking his place, you know, taking over his market for now is the best way to put
He
it.
said they're getting contracts in for his market, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess it was just a fact of doing this because he was such a high salary.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows what makes a director think one person's expendable and everyone can cover for them? You just don't know what their mindset is, right?
Yeah.
So I have no insight into that. The girl, Cara something like that, has the Northeast markets, and so he gave her the Southeast too. The director did, and you know, she did say that she was busy, but they also say, I talked to both the director and Kara, and they also say we're really hoping to bring Bruce back. But January, you know, on the one hand, January seems like a long time, but on the other hand, I think he's been well taken care of. I'm sure he's got some savings. I don't think he's financially pushed, but if they were to not contact him by January, you know, then I think he probably would be wise to be looking. And I guess it's never a bad idea to keep your eyes open. I don't know. It's just kind of hard.
That's what I told him, and I said, hey, listen, stay, you know, let Carol know. And he said, yeah, I will. But then I'm like, I think you're close enough to him too, or is it kind of a pride thing where he would? So, you know, it's kind of like too, do you keep a, you know?
Yeah, we have a good relationship, and I mean, he called me when he realized this was going to happen, and he was very candid about how it was making him feel. You know, I could tell that he was bitter and hurt. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he
he's
said that to me too.
Yeah, but
and you know, they're going to pay him next week. So he said, I think this week is his last paycheck, like I think off of using vacation.
Uh-huh.
And then he said next week they're paying him, they're giving him a check for $15,000.
Wow.
And I said, what? For what? And he goes, just to like live. And I said,
Wow.
well, that tells me. And he said they made a very big deal that it was not any severance. It wasn't anything like that. It was just of like, to survive.
Wow. And they're not asking him to do anything, to sign anything or anything like that. Wow. That's very impressive.
So I said, you know, that in itself, Bruce kind of tells me they're going to bring you back as long as they can.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that they would do that, although you have given a lot to them for 20 something years, but still, like, they don't have to do that. So
agreed. They don't. And
so
this
I
is
think
impressive.
That's promising.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So, yeah. But I know he's hurt too, because like he said, he's like, Kim, they're getting contracts in my territory.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what,
hard.
you know, he's like, so why can't I be there and be doing that? And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Because somebody else is going to get paid on that event, on, you know, those contracts, and he might have been the one that cultivated them, but they're the ones who are going to get paid on them.
They shouldn't just cut his salary then and say, hey, you're making X, we're going to give you X, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't quite understand, you know, what that thought process is. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
My friend, do you know Marina O'Leary? Marina, sweet Irish girl. She's really awesome. She was the last, you know, she was hired by Montage Laguna Beach, loved it there. She came from the Ritz-Carlton Dove Mountain. So she's a sophisticated, wonderful seller, but she was the last on the team and therefore the first to be laid off. She's the last to be called back. Same situation with Bruce. And so they've given someone who covers the Midwest her Southeast market. And that girl is writing business, and Marina is feeling bitter because, you know, she hasn't been brought back yet. And somebody else is getting credit for her work. So,
yeah, I know. Just,
There
so I guess like just keep an ear. Obviously, he'll probably give you another call and probably to maybe tell you that. But I just thought too, as you're, you know, in case his pride gets in the way, or he doesn't want to like say to you, hey, you know. And I said, you know, Bruce, keep it on the down low because you don't want to potentially hurt if they are going to bring you back and then the word gets out that you're looking. Then they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't need to bring him back.
Yeah.
And he said, I would like to go back. You know,
right. I mean, do you really feel like that's a possibility that they would hold that against him?
I would hope not. Like a good employer, I feel would be like, well, he's just doing what he can.
He's protecting himself. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how they are. I don't know how his director is, you know, so I don't know.
His director's a woman, and she's really nice. You know, from a social standpoint, she's really nice. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the person who's taking his place right now is a woman that's also been there 24 years. I mean, I think she had a hard decision because everybody has been there so long. There were no newbies, I don't think, on the team. I think everybody's got a lot of seniority. But
right. Yeah.
Dang.
So how's everything with you?
Oh, everything's good. Whitney's traveling today, and so I had to be responsible for the Zoom call. And the phone ring, I don't know anything about technology. It went fine, but the phone ringing when you called, fortunately we were wrapping up and giving prizes, but it kicked me off of Zoom, though I could hear, but I couldn't see. I couldn't see them, but they said they could see me. So I don't know, you know, when you don't know you're being seen because you can't see them, who knows what they saw, basically is my point. And I don't know if I did it right. I don't know if I did the recording right. I don't know what I did right. Anyway, I had to say goodbye without seeing the faces, and it was a little weird.
Oh, no.
It's just weird, but I'm fine. You know, I'm the same every day. I'm still in shock over the fucking debate. I feel like my head is about to explode. All day I've felt anxious. Why I should feel anxious about this, I don't know, but I do feel anxious. And so you know, we sometimes have cocktails as a result of these Zoom calls, and it feels a little weird making a cocktail at 3 p.m., but I did it today.
Hey, why not? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I felt
like
a lot more calm. You were.
I didn't do the cocktail thing, but I was super anxious yesterday, and my one dog was just, I don't know, it was really bizarre. Like, she's usually very mellow, very just whatever. She was like at my side, like everywhere I turned.
During the
like,
day? Yeah. Do you think she knew you were anxious? I think so. Because, you know, when you're anxious, your body does make all these weird hormones and chemicals, you know?
Yeah.
And I think dogs have a sense of smell when there's something going wrong with people, you know, with people's bodies. I think the dogs, obviously they can tell that. So I wouldn't be surprised if your dog just sensed you being anxious.
Oh, totally. I mean, she just was absolutely and then it was just starting to get me so like then even more like riled up because I'm like, just, oh my God, get out of my way. Like everywhere I went, she was just there.
Wow.
Felt so bad. And then even to the point that I went, she's not typically, like my lab, of course, is more the water dog. Like I'll look for my lab and she's sitting in the bathtub. Like she'll just be sitting in there
without water in it, waiting for you to put water in.
Yeah, waiting for me to turn the faucet on for her. And so, but my other one, the smaller one, is not really like that. So when I went at the end of the day to like go shower, she even came in and was just like staring at me and like panting, like super anxious. So it was just a weird, it was bizarre.
Strange. Yeah. Well, for everybody. Did you watch the debate?
Yeah, I did, and it was just such a joke. I can't believe it. Like, I'm embarrassed.
Oh
really.
My God, I'm afraid for our country. But at least I think everybody did see it as being the shit show that it was. I don't think there's anybody. I haven't read anybody that was defending him. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, it was just. But then both of them, I get a little mad where I'm like, come on, you guys, like, you know, seriously, this is just. I'm embarrassed for this country.
Yeah,
it was just like the two of them. Even Biden was like looking at him like, "Oh, shut up," or just
or calling him a clown. I thought that was really inappropriate. You know.
Yeah, it's like, come on now, you guys you're
grown ups.
You're grown up. This is a serious situation here, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, but how in the world? I mean, people were finding a lot of fault with Chris Wallace too, but I thought, how in the world? How would you respond? I mean, people were like texting me, and you know, I saw it all over Facebook. Like, why didn't he mute the microphone? Why didn't he do this or that? But he didn't have the technology to do that because the Election Commission, prohibited it. It was all, and they came out today and said they're going to change that for the next one.
Yeah, which they need to. They have got to absolutely. Yeah, because it was like Trump too, just, you know, and then when Mike Wallace was like, hey, do you just want to switch places here? It was just, you know, he's starting to debate with Mike Wallace. It was just like,
I know.
Oh my God, the two of you, like, stop this insanity. God.
It's so true. It was, doesn't look good for our country, except that hoping that it, you know, if there was ever anybody undecided out there that that they were pushed over the edge into.
I hope so, but to me, like if I was like going, I am still kind of deciding who. I would not have been convinced with Biden last night.
Well, but if it was a binary,
him.
if it was a binary choice though, this or that, wouldn't that convince you? I mean, I guess they could decide not to vote or write in a candidate. I get that this isn't our best foot forward. Kamala Harris would have kicked his ass. No, he wasn't. Kamala Harris would have just shut him right down, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Chris Wallace couldn't shut him down, then I just don't think anybody could.
Oh my God.
Chris Wallace basically said, shut up, follow the rules. And he just didn't do it. Oh my God. I don't even want to relive it. It was just a nightmare. But I've been in that rabbit hole. I stayed in that rabbit hole all morning. Like I had a bunch of calls this morning, but every time I'd hang up, I'd go look at, I'd go back to the news. I've got to get over that. That's kind of an addiction that is not healthy.
Well, so I started the other day because did you watch The Social Dilemma?
No, it's on my watch list for tomorrow though.
Yeah, and honestly, like after that, I was like, I did deactivate my Facebook for like a day.
but you went back.
And it was hard because the problem is that I've got like a lot of my travel agents and advisors are on there with me, and I'm like, shoot, how am I going to go in?
Yeah.
And like then I thought, I'm just going to start another Facebook page. It's just the ranch. That's just very simple. That's got the group, the luxury advisor group that I'm in, that group. But then I was like, I started to do that and I'm like, oh my God, this isn't going to work because I'm already like so connected in with it's just, but after watching that, I was like, wow, I deleted the news apps off my phone. I did do that.
You deleted which apps off? The news apps. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. It really, like, that documentary just was such a, like, it is, like, just, how the whole social dilemma, how the whole social media thing is just creating a divide. It's influencing people. It's just, like, it's not healthy.
Yeah. I know. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and it may change my behavior. Although, the thing, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how much content's going to really bother me. I do know that on the one hand, it feels really creepy that it tracks all your searches, and then the next thing, and the next thing you know, you've got all the stuff that comes up on your Facebook feed that is related to your searches. And on the one hand, I think that's creepy, but on the other hand, I think it's convenient. Like the other day, I had missed the deadline to order flowers for my daughter, and I was looking around for florists, and the next thing I know, on my Facebook feed, there's all these really cool floral people I'd never heard of, and it just made it like, oh, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. So it made it easier to shop. So I'm thinking, well, I don't mind that they're tracking my shopping habits because, they know stuff that I might like.
But it's even more to that too, where it was like, I was talking with my friend Melissa. She's in Miami, but just is down in Tulum right now. We were on like a long call over the weekend. And she was talking about her mother. And she's like, yeah, my mom's just this like narcissist and blah, blah, blah. And we get off the phone, and like an hour later, she texts me and goes, oh my God, it was totally listening to us. Because she starts getting this thing about mothers.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Really? But they didn't let her mother know. They just said something to her.
No.
Oh,
to her.
Wow. Okay. That's fucking creepy.
Too, like a month ago on something too. I was talking with a friend. Oh, and then Melissa was talking about too, like toxic relationships. We both were. And then I get something in Instagram about toxic relationships.
And so this is something you were talking about. You weren't texting or email. It was voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And this has happened to me like a month or two ago too with a friend. We were talking about something, and then all of a sudden I remember I like circled it, and I'm like, were we just not talking about this? And she's just like, yeah.
What?
So it, to me too, that's like, they talk about like, it sees how many times you like sit on a picture, how many, it's like gathering, just like, it was like, whoa, this is like.
All your behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so freaky. It bothered me. And then that's where I'm like, like how really healthy is the social media thing? But then I'm like, then the whole thing of like, I wish someone would create an app that was just business.
Well, that's what LinkedIn is for. That's what LinkedIn
But
is
that's
for.
getting crazy with so many ads and stories and.
So everybody's just trying to mimic everybody else.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a real eye opener, and it's obviously a big thing too for kids. It's like kind of an eye opener if you have children to not let them get on there until they're 18 to make decisions on their own at that point. Because now too, it's like they're going to be so influenced by everything that they're seeing.
Yep. No, I think the kid part is, I think the kid part is really scary. And you know, I get these little notifications. Your screen time today was 8 hours and 15 minutes. I'm like, how? What? 8 hours?
Right.
But I guess that's time spent on my computer or working, as well as time spent on all the other socials and stuff. I mean, you know, I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm capable of synthesizing out, you know, media, or not media, but opinions that I don't agree with. Like, mainly I'll just sometimes I know which friends of mine have more engaging political conversations. Like, I know the ones that are willing to put their opinions up there, and so sometimes I'll just read through just to kind of get a sense of the arguments. But in general, I'm not swayable by that. I just find it interesting. I'll tell you, there was one, but a perfect example of this. So this is horrifying. I don't know if I can actually repeat it. Let me see if I can get this up here real quick. Do you happen to know Alex Freeland?
Yes.
Okay, so you know Alex. Huh? You can't stand him. Oh, then you'll really.
Well, I shouldn't say can't stand. I feel like he was just always a little cocky, but.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So
it was like hard to have like a conversation with him because he was always just like a Mr. Know-it-all, I guess.
Kind of. Yeah, that would be our boy. So let me see if I can find the. Let me see if I can find.
Where is he now? Wasn't he at Boca or?
Yes, but he's selling. He's a financial advisor now. He's not in the business anymore. So he posted. Let me just give you an example of why you really need to be. You shouldn't just be. Well, it's not a safe space. You know, it's just not a safe space, right? So it must be this one. No, that's 30th, August 30th. He posted something. Maybe he took it down. Dang, I don't see it on here. Okay, so he posted something relatively benign but political the other day. And he apparently has relatives, female relatives. One turns out to be his aunt, who disagrees and disagrees vehemently, really does not love Trump at all, like as anti-Trump basically. And she responded with some factual arguments about what a waste of humanity Trump is. And I don't even remember what all she said, but a meeting planner, do you happen to know Jean Rayleigh? Jean Rayleigh? Yeah, she's a Helms Briscoe person, right?
Yeah.
So she chimes in and she says, I don't know you, but blah, blah, blah. And then she gave some freaking, super conservative reply and followed with God bless you or bless your heart or some version of that. And the woman then comes back at her and says, you don't know me and that's fine with me. And and then she says something super insulting to Jean Rayleigh. Like Jean Rayleigh knows Alex from business, right? And this lady was Alex's aunt. And they just, it was just ugly. It was ugly. I couldn't believe it. And I don't know why I can't see that conversation, but I can't see it on here. Yeah.
He took it off.
A perfect, maybe, but it was a perfect, there's more. It was a perfect example of why you should not, you just don't know who's friend, you just don't know who why would you comment on something that you don't even know the person? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. And I just think too, it's such a I think this whole political thing, it's just not worth,
God bless.
Even some of, thank you. We have such hot day and it's so dry. The Santa Ana is kind of that I'm just dying.
I'm glad you're not really sick though. Okay, so I found it. Let me just read it to you. So Alex posted a picture of, it has to do with COVID, and it was a screenshot of something he got on Fox News. And he says, I'm going to leave this right here, friends. And it's COVID-19 survival rates by age group.
Yeah, I got that.
All right, so it shows that there's a slight, increase when you get to be 70. So, okay, then there's the comments. Let's do the comments. Let's go with the comments. Let's see here. I can do that. Or maybe I can't. Doo-doo. 5 more comments. Hold on. Okay, so the aunt goes, 14,000 dead, 177 today. What if one of those was your dad, your mom, or me? How much money is that worth to you? So he goes, Aunt Jay, I love you. I never mentioned or implied anything about money. I love you and all my family and friends. My point of the post is fear-mongering has to stop. Be smart, take precautions, practice good hygiene. If you're sick, stay home, blah, 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 blah. Any death is unfortunate. So he's defending himself to his aunt. Okay, that's perfectly legit. You're going to have the back and forth with the aunt.
Right.
But then for whatever damn reason, Jean Rayleigh chimes in. I got to like expand this. Let me see. Okay, so Jean Rayleigh chimes into the aunt. Jennifer Freeland, with all due respect, I don't know you, but you are deluded. Please get a grip and look at the actual facts. You sound downright crazy and are ignoring the truth. God bless you, and I'm sorry you are so fearful and believing lies. Jennifer, the aunt, goes, you don't know me, and I'm good with that.
Oh, God.
And then, oh, it gets better. Hang on, let me see. Jennifer Freeland, I'll never understand the urge strangers have to comment on things about which they don't know. Which they know nothing to people they don't know. The pseudo-Christian blessing from some frump with a dildo on her face is just weird.
No. Oh my God.
That's somebody who's a friend or a relative of Alex called Jean Rayleigh a pseudo-Christian, a Trump with a dildo on her face.
Oh
that is what was said. At that point, I'm like, what in the world are people doing?
Oh my God.
Oh Lordy, there's lots of arguing here going on about.
Oh wait, and I see that same post because I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, you
I
are?
didn't realize.
Yeah, it's the
Oh
COVID
my God,
post.
That's just horrible though. But
Yes.
that's where it's like, you know, come on, people.
Because you know how he must feel. He's like, if he were still in the business, you know, like his relative is being ugly to his aunt and vice versa. Oh, that's just not good.
No.
Yeah.
Not good.
So I don't know. It's a mess. I will be watching The Social Dilemma tomorrow, though, and we can reconvene about that subject.
Yeah.
I find Facebook, you know, for all of its evils, but I don't get much that inflames me, right? I just don't look at people who are going to have inflammatory stuff that I disagree with on their feed. Very often, I don't.
Yeah.
But it's so useful for birthdays and deaths and babies and, you know, just to engage with people on a social level so you feel like you know them, you know?
I know. And that's where even like the day that I deactivated, then I needed to go on it because I had to go into that travel advisor group I'm in because I had to look for a post. I'm like, oh shit, well here I'm right back at, that lasted really long.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I just kind of tried to figure out, I'm like, okay, how can I do this where it's just, and then I was like, getting frustrated because I'm like, well, there is no way. Like, I'm kind of stuck here because of the connections, like a lot of those travel advisors that I'm on there with. And like, you know, it's just like, oh.
I just think you have to, you know, you have to kind of put some self-edits on it. You have to say to yourself, I'm going to be on Facebook for 30 minutes today for business, you know, and then go ahead and look at your feed, but only, you know, only respond to people that have positive news, people that I always do my birthdays. And then, you know, I scroll down, and if I don't have the time or I'm not particularly interested, I just look for, you know, without Facebook, I wouldn't have known such and such is looking for another job, you know, so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to know that stuff.
But I think some of it, because I'm not really on it that much, though. I guess the thing where I just am freaked out is how it's tracking everything of our.
Well, that's going to freak me out, I promise.
That's the thing that bothers me the most. It was more of that than like my time on it, because I can go days without going on it. That I have good self-control and I'm good with that. But it's the whole that it's just following, it's just tracking. Like I was on TikTok too for a little bit, and first off, I was like, why am I even on this nonsense? And then Christian Sun told me in defense too of Trump, the reason why he did not want that getting approved here in the States is because it has got the app itself is tracking people and doing stuff that he was very concerned that China was gathering a lot of information of people of the United States in that application. That was his big thing about not. And so Christian's son told me too, he's like, no, Kim, he goes, I used to be on it, but I don't, he goes, I deleted it because it continually tracks all your moves, everything.
Wow. That's a platform I've never been on, but I know my granddaughter, lives on it. So.
Yeah, and that's scary too, that it just tracks everything.
Truly.
So I was like, oh, geez.
It's like having a spy cam in your house that one day is going to come back and get you.
But, I feel like too, we're so far into, they can they're seeing what we're doing, like.
I kind of think if they're that interested in the minutia of my life, I got nothing to hide. Just knock yourself out. If they want to help me find a florist when I need one, more power to them. They're not going to change my mind about the presidential election or whatever. So I kind of have not felt that outraged or violated, but it's certainly possible that I will after I've watched this documentary. Not gonna lie.
One of my friends, he posted the other day because he watched it and he sent a text, or he posted on Facebook and said, like, hey guys, as of October 1, he said, I'm officially going off of Facebook. He moved to Florida. He's a pilot for United. I've done it for a while, but he said here, Netflix, do yourself a favor and watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. My Facebook account will be inactive as of October 1. I'm not going to be part of this negative social experiment anymore. It and other social media platforms only exist to make money and create division among us. Only the Rovers Retreat account will continue to exist on here, Instagram and Twitter. Those who are my real friends know how to stay in touch with me. Adios, social media. I won't be part of society's downfall. Do yourself a favor, turn off all notifications, remove all social platforms, read a book, take a walk, have a glass of wine with your neighbor, and keep social media away from your kids until they're 18 and can make their own decisions.
Wow.
Enjoy life disconnected. Peace out, friends.
Peace out indeed. That is the best way to end that conversation.
Right? And I said, but wait, hold on. I was kind of messing around with him because I think he does like Tinder and Bumble. And I was like, wait, but aren't those like social platforms? So I was just kind of giving him a hard time. He never responded to me on that.
He didn't?
No.
Taking care of his loneliness needs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Lord.
So, who knows? And also very sad about Calistoga Meadowood.
Kim, that one picture just devastated me.
I know.
It felt like it was representative of this entire year for our industry, like up in flames. Iconic hotel that's so recognizable, just leaving the planet. And Calistoga, we don't even have pictures of that because it's in the woods.
I texted Matt, who's number 2. He's my friend there at Calistoga. And they were just getting a new GM on the 18th. And he's been acting GM. And when I texted him the other day, like before this news, I was like, hey, how's it going, Matt? He's like, fine. He goes, but we just closed again. Like, it's just been this yo-yo.
That was just the other day before the fire?
Yes. Yeah. He was so frustrated because he and his wife had just, he's like my age. He worked at the Grand Del Mar with me and then went to Calistoga with Auberge probably just a few years ago. And he had said, yeah, we had to evacuate. So this was on Sunday. I just said, hey, how are you doing? I see that glass fire is getting, it's really burning through. Are you doing okay? He said, yeah, I had to evacuate the hotel this morning. We are closed again. I'm real.
Yeah.
He said, fire is still burning. Here is a picture from my security camera. And he sent me like 6 pictures. And then he said, I took all these pictures. New GM starts on the 18th. Elizabeth Fowler, GM of the Ritz in Cleveland, 38 years old.
Wow.
And then I said, hey, I hear the grapes are just pretty ruined too in a lot of the vineyards because of smoke. And you can't get that off of those grapes. So it's going to be, he said, yeah, we harvested this week. And then I sent him the thing too, or I sent him a text after I saw that too. And I said, Matt, is this true? Like of Calistoga Meadowood? He said, yes.
That's all he said, just yes.
And I just said, this is so horrific.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, is Calistoga totally, he said, it's like pretty fairly like gone, but not completely. I think, I don't know, maybe 70%. So, but you know, when that happens, it's like, okay,
You might as
pretty
well
much you're
just
gonna have
start
to
over.
rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
I
the
mean,
problem with Calistoga is building there, because you know that property had only permitting for it to be a campground.
Oh, is that right? Oh gosh.
Yeah, and that's why those accommodations were
So
basically like
modular.
trailers.
Yeah. I did know that it was a zoning issue, that the county itself, because Calistoga is not the only one that has that kind of construction, that the county mandate is that it has to resemble the architectural vernacular of the county, which is agricultural. So that's why they had to do all these, you know, prefab, and they could have no construction on site, so they had to do prefab construction and drop the units in. But on the but on the other hand, that will make it easier maybe to replace them. They can maybe be up and running a little earlier, as long as the forest itself isn't destroyed, because the forest was part of the ambiance of that place. You know, the woods.
Yeah.
Well, it's just really,
So
that's
here
too
was- there's a
horrific
thing
too.
From Luxury Travel Advisor that said Calistoga Ranch badly damaged by the fire. At this time, we know the resort has been extensively damaged by the fire. We are working closely with CAL FIRE to assess the full extent of the damage.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend who lives out there basically said, his text was, Meadowood lost 60 of their rooms, their main building, the restaurant, and the meeting space. And then he sent the picture, and then he just wrote, Calistoga is gone. And that was shocking. I just, the way he put it, I don't know. It just was, I had a hard time with it. I've had a hard couple days.
Well, and
Got all
that
this.
used to be like, when I was with Palmetto Bluff, like Calistoga was always like my second, like I feel like I basically sold that too, because it was just, that was like my other favorite property in the collection. Like I absolutely loved Calistoga Ranch. It was just
I kind of forgot that. Yeah, I
property.
forgot.
And it too, just to think like that it's gone, or that it's, I mean,
Yeah.
the picture now that I'm seeing on the San Francisco Gate newspaper thing here, like literally it has just nothing left of it.
That's what I heard. As you can imagine that if it's burned to the ground, if the forest around it is on fire, and these wooden prefab construction buildings, it wouldn't take much to burn that to the ground.
No, it's just really, I mean, it's so, there's a sign here that just shows, it just shows like Calistoga Ranch, like the entrance, and it's just all just incinerated. Like it's just
crazy.
And then what happens now, I mean, it's like, I guess employees just they just go on unemployment, but it's like, this is like forever now going to be just, I mean, imagine now these people are just already, now they're totally out of jobs.
All those people that work there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, and Meadowood too. You know.
And that's, yeah, God, right. Who was there? Oh, Kathy Murray.
She's not there anymore, but yeah. I was supposed to have a call with Janet Gregg, who does group sales for them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it was the other day, it was the day of the fire. I was supposed to have a conversation with her, and she wrote me and said, I've got a bunch of stuff going on today. Maybe we could do it later on. I'm like, sure. I was trying to get her in my program, and she was very open to it. And then the fire happened. Oh, look at these pictures. Wow.
That's Calistoga.
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah. And well, yeah, you should try to get Janet, because the last time I was on and Jamie Mascatello with Rancho Valencia.
Jamie, is Jamie in the HB program too?
Yes. And when we were in New York, was it no, we did an event. Jamie, Janet, myself, and who else was part of that? Maybe 2 other properties. Now I forgot. Last year, we just did our own event at a really nice restaurant in New York. We were like, okay, like, because they are so sick of HB.
They are. And so you just broke off and did your own event, or you did your own event in addition to the HB event?
No, we just did our own luncheon, like, may have even been October of last year. I know we all were just like, hey, let's just do our own thing. We each chipped in whatever. We just split the bill basically at the restaurant. We had we put our kind of Rolodexes together. We each invited, I think, 5 to 10 clients. Like, it wasn't like huge because we're like, let's keep it more intimate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But those two, they were talking smack about her. But the thing that bothers me a little bit, you know, is that, like, I've seen Jamie post on HB Hive, like, oh, that's great. Like, you know, so it's kind of like, all right, you really talked a lot of smack, but then you're like sitting there kind of, oh, that's wonderful, Danielle.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it really frustrates me. It's like.
Yeah, it does. I know. I have a hard time watching her take the accolades. I mean, first of all, Jamie Muscatel is an old friend of mine, and I had kind of lost her, although it seems like I was going to try to get together with her last Christmas because she's moved back to the DC area.
Right.
But I lost her after she left Napa and went back to Rancho Valencia. I don't know that I even have her work email address, but I have her personal information, I'm pretty sure. So thank you.
Wait, I think I've got her. But you know what you should do too, and you can obviously fib on it too. You don't have to, but you can just say, hey, you know, Kim Taylor's been attending or doing stuff and been involved, and she's also going to be doing the October one. Like, because she's always like, we used to ask me like, hey, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? Like when she first kind of started with Rancho Valencia, and I know Mark Phillips is always like, call Kim, do this, do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking her up. I mean, she used to do my events religiously when she was at the St. Regis Aspen, and then when she moved to, I think was it Meadowood or Auberge? She was with Auberge. Yeah. She was with Auberge before she went to Rancho.
At Calistoga.
Yes, exactly. So, yes, the email address I have for her is the Auberge email address, and I don't see her personal information in here, but she used to do my, I love her. We did the Inn at Little Washington together a couple of times. And in fact, I invited her to be my roommate because we had taken over the house that belongs to the owner of the, you know, the Inn at Little Washington is ultra posh and very well known in Washington. And the owner's home, he and his partner broke up. And of course, it's just beyond the little house that they have there in the town. But he and his partner had broken up. So they started using the house for events. And we had taken it over. We did an event there and we were using the house for the reception, but the master bedroom was awesome. And Jamie came and shared it with me. And I just will never forget that. They had a king size bed and she like put pillows down the middle of the bed. I'm like, Jamie, I'm not coming over there to after you. You don't need to put a barrier in the bed so that I don't cross over.
Oh my God, great.
I will always remember how funny I thought that was. And she had just like, she put all the pillows in the middle so that I didn't go over to her side.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm really, really, really fond of Jamie. So thank you for sending me that. I'll update my records and get back in touch with her. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to Janet. And then Janet, as luck would have it, lost her resort that same day. Oh, Lord. Oh, well, we're in it for the long haul, not the short haul. But I mean, you know, so Danielle just did the thing at Salamander. That turned out to be the incentive summit. That means that it was all third parties because that's their travel partners event.
Oh my
She
God.
finally recognized that, you know, if you're going to start marketing incentive destinations, you're going to have to be friendly to, you know, the incentive practitioners. That's where the business is coming from. The people who specialize in motivation and reward systems, et cetera. So, so I was watching, I had a lot of friends who were there and, you know, people that, I just like, how does she know that person? Because one girl, for instance, in Nashville, who's been an advocate of ours and been attending our events ever since we started there. And I don't know, her company is called KBT Creative Services. I don't know how much legit business she has, whether she's a creative agency or I can't quite figure out the nature of her business, but she's gotten very involved in our events, been very active in them. And I saw her at Danielle's event and I'm like, how in the hell does Danielle know Kimberly Bean? How does that happen? And then she had Jan Levine there. And Jan Levine, you know, if you think Jan Levine's a good customer, then you just don't know what the shit you're doing. I mean, you know.
So she's just grasping though too, because she's probably really just very kind of getting into some of those.
Well, yes,
she
I
hasn't
think
been doing it.
No, I think, well, she moved it from Mexico because I guess Mexico, she was going to do it in Mexico, but it was at Salamander. So, and this week she's at Tahoe. She's out in Tahoe with her women's summit. So it feels like she's just super desperate to start doing events again. And she's had 3 in a row. Sea Island and Salamander and now Tahoe. And so,
well, and then Paws Up is coming up soon too.
yeah, so she must just be on a vengeance, you know, trying to
and
get
then
people
Mexico,
to
I
travel.
think at the end of the month.
Oh, she is going to Mexico after all.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if that's still on, but I bet you it is.
Well, as I started watching Kimberly Bean do her little post, I mean, first of all, she mainly focused on Salamander and how beautiful it is. She sent some beautiful pictures of this handmade pen that was the gift. I mean, I have to give credit where it's due. Danielle does a marvelous job on the gifting. But then, you know, Kimberly goes, and here is the fearless leader of HB Hospitality, Danielle, blah, blah, blah. And she did a little video of Danielle speaking, and I just thought, oh my God. I just want to talk to her and pick her brain and find out what she actually thought. But I thought also she did a hybrid, which I did think was also a good idea. So, because when you think about how connected can you, I know that the customers are eager to travel again. They are. The meeting planners, you invite them to a free thing, especially if they can drive to it, they're going to show up. That's just without question. And so people from our region could get to Salamander. And, but you know, you've got a 10-foot round and you've got you sitting on one side and the person you're trying to talk to is on the other side. And if you've got a mask on, you can't really project your voice. You can't see half their face, right? It just doesn't feel very connected. And so she did a hybrid, apparently. There was some face-to-face time. They did do a keynote speaker and all of their social stuff, but then you go to your room and do a virtual version where you could actually see somebody's face. You could take your mask off, do your virtual appointment. That person could present using the AV so that you could see it, because you see what I mean? If you're the seller and you're trying to show me a video of the ranch, but I have to sit 6 feet away, I'm not gonna be able to see that. So she did that virtually. I thought that was really smart. And Kimberly just happened to post a picture of it, which is, how come I know that? But then you saw like these weird pictures, like the dinner. So there's a picture in the foreground, 10-foot round, 2 people at it. So they're miles apart. I know it's socially distanced to the max. I think they were wearing masks, those 2. But then in the background was a crowded table, probably all the clicky people. There's like 8 people at that table and they're not wearing masks, you know, and they're having their dinner or their cocktails or whatever they're doing. They weren't physically eating in the picture, but you're just like, okay. The one in the foreground didn't look fun, and the one in the background didn't look safe. So take your pick. Which table are you going to sit at? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But people that were there seemed to have enjoyed it. It's just a mess. Like, you don't know what to do. I don't want to take chances with people. I don't want to take chances with people's lives. And, you know, I don't want to take any unnecessary risk, but, you know, people are eager to start getting back out there again.
I know. I mean, they really are. I just think I know. They're very antsy. It's just I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah, it sounds like now she's just on a roll.
If you want my personal opinion, which you probably don't, but I'm going to give it to you anyhow.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this before, but I think she must be under enormous financial pressure because she had all this money that had been paid to her and she had to offer something, and virtual just isn't suitable for many people. So she has to, and she wants to get out in front of it and be the pioneer, showing how you can get back safely and still gather and still do business. So, you know, I think all of that probably came into play. I think she wanted to be perceived as out in front of it and see it safe. We can do this safely. That's one of her new hashtags, gather safely or something like that. But I also think she had to have some product. She had to get out there and offer something tangible, or she was just going to be buried with people canceling their memberships and all that.
And that's what I think, because I may not be the only one that's kind of saying, like, this sucks. Like, you know. You're
not the only one who's saying that. I think a lot of people are saying that. So
you do? See, I just feel like everyone's like, oh, this is wonderful. Oh, Danielle, you're just so great.
They may say that she's great, and they may say the virtual events are wonderful because I think there's some benefit to them. But they also say, why should we can't spend this kind of money in the future. And we wanted our money back and she wouldn't give it to us, or we think this isn't worth the amount. The live events are overpriced, and the virtual events should not be that same amount because she's not spending any money to produce them.
And that was my big thing, like with Tori too. I said, we're going to get on a call because I'm going to tell her that this is not, and we did. And that's when she said, well, just blah, blah, blah. And
How did she handle that? Was she gracious or was she defensive or
she was defensive. Like, it was definitely defensive, and basically we got nowhere, so it was kind of like, all right, well, that it didn't work. She knew. I let her know too. I said, I'm not happy about this. It really is not a good feeling, because we know that you've got other than your platform that you just did, you've got very little expense. You're not, doing a lunch, you're not doing a reception, you're not, whatever a site fee is, there is none of that.
What'd she say?
Like well, yeah, but we're still, we're doing gifts, and, I said, okay, what, maybe $100 per person on the gifts? Like, come on. I just said, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, and she's like, well, we are all, again, the whole, we're in this together, and we've taken a financial hit too. And I said, oh, and we haven't?
Wow,
I said, you're not the only one that has.
You guys were arguing. You had an argument with her.
Kind of. I mean, it was definitely because, it was making me a little like, oh, well, we've taken a financial, well, we have too. What do you think that we're just,
Yeah.
So that too is kind of like, I'm not going to let her kind of walk away. And then it just became like, you know what? I just said, Danielle, obviously we're not seeing eye to eye on this. We don't feel that you're working with us. Why should we be paying $1,850 for an event? And then she was like, well, if you do an event and you don't like it, it was that whole thing that we'll give you another one. And I go, what, another one?
That I don't like?
Yeah. So it's just like, remember they did that for me, and like I did the next one, and it was just as bad. Remember I had like all the Troy's like Minneapolis accounts or whatever. I'm like, oh boy. And then he had a bunch of mine, which again, like, it would be different if we weren't paying $1,850 and the expectation was just set a little bit lower. Like we'd be like, oh, whatever. It was a good effort. Like,
yeah,
the fact that we're like
$1,000, it would be a different conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it would just be like, okay, you know what, at least we got in front of some people, and okay, it was a little bit of a shitstorm. I had some of Troy's market, but whatever, no big deal. It's like,
yeah.
And I think because it's just her too, that, Carol, that I just get even more, because I'm just like, really,
So how much interaction have you had with Spence now?
A little bit, and Troy has too, because Troy was unhappy with his last one, and Spencer's like, oh, well, here, we'll set up just we'll do, we'll personally just set up some calls for you and Kim. And Troy just said, he waited a few days, and he said, Kim, what should I tell him? And I just said, tell him, no, thank you. We're capable of setting up our own thing, doing our own thing. So he did. He just said, yeah, thank you, but no thanks. Kim and I will just continue to do our own thing. We don't need your help.
Does he feel like a fish out of water to you, or does he feel like he's fitting in? Fish out of water?
Yeah, because he's very much like kind of kissing your ass a little bit, like very, you can tell he's a yes person, and he's that to her, which is what she wants. So
yeah,
she
it is. Yeah. She wants somebody to do the dirty work.
Oh, yeah. And he'll just be like, okay. I give it like, well, I want to say almost like 6 months.
Can this marriage be saved?
Yeah, I don't foresee it being that long term.
Yeah.
But he also may need the job, so I don't know that he'll necessarily leave on his accord.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, but I see him very much being a yes man, and kind of like, oh, Kim will, oh, I'm so like, oh, okay, well, let's, I'm here for you, and I'm,
Wow. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm curious what they're going to do for 21.
Well, if you can
model a little bit.
If you can believe what they're doing for 20, they're going to be out there with a vengeance. I hope we don't have another huge uptick in COVID, and I hope that no one from these events that they've done so far gets sick, because that would be a lot of liability that would be, difficult for anybody. I'm sure she's.
But at the same time, I think people are dealing with this, like, okay, between you and I don't. Not telling many people just because we don't need it out in the world, but like, I just had one of my clients called Epic Adventures, that's just his name, for the group. They do just a group of guys, like all super wealthy. I think it's one of the guys whose family is DART, D-A-R-T, and they basically invented and started all of like styrofoam, solo
Oh,
cups.
gee. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so just a little bit of money, right?
Yeah, a
Just
little.
maybe a couple billion. But anyway, so it was him and like, I guess like 20 other friends, and they all came to, they were supposed to start in Vancouver, which didn't happen. But they started basically, like, I think Seattle, and they all were driving their either Lamborghinis or Ferraris all through Wyoming, Montana, Utah, like the whole deal. Stayed with us like 2 nights, then went to the next spot. Ended up, I think, in Jackson Hole. But I got an email today from John, my GM, that said, yeah, Jeff called, and 5 people that went back were tested positive for COVID.
Do you think it was one of your staff that started it, or
I don't
you
know,
just don't
because
know? You can't trace that where they've been and who they've
Well,
talked to and what they've done.
Yeah, exactly. And it was one of those, it was like, okay, well, they went to 5 other properties too after us.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the thing, I think you can put all the safety protocols in place that you want. And I'm pretty, first of all, convinced it's not touching things that gives it to you. It's breathing. That's what the scientists, it's airborne particles that you breathe onto other human beings. So you can put all the protocols in place that you want to, but if you can't trust every single person you're going to encounter, whether it's a planned encounter or an accidental encounter, right? If you can't trust that person has also been safe, also been wearing a mask, also been social distancing, then you're still at risk. So nothing you can say is going to sugarcoat that. That's just, there are people who feel it's an infringement on their personal liberty. There are people who are going to bars and states that it's possible to do that, and they're behaving that way. And, you're in an airport, and I know that most of it, masks are mandated now, which is good, but I don't know.
I hear New York is going to start fining people.
Yeah, I saw that. I just think, your planned encounters are one thing, but your random encounters, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You have to walk around the block. You're being jostled by a bunch of people you don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too paranoid, but I feel like we're going to stay virtual until there's a vaccine. And that's probably end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter.
If you put your shows up live, I would do them. I'd get on the road.
Thank you, honey. Well, we're going to go to Texas, so come on down. That's your
Troy would do
natural
that.
market. What is your market? All over the place?
Everything east of the Mississippi, all leisure and wedding stuff.
Okay. And all leisure. Yeah. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, we've got one on the books for the last week in March, which is the South. We've got to get back to Atlanta and do something out of Atlanta. So it's on the books for the last week in March. And, if the governor of Georgia permits the gathering of the size we need, and the governor of North Carolina permits it, we were actually supposed to go to Alabama and Tennessee on that one. That's probably what we'll do. And then the next one after that's Texas. And then we've got a connoisseurs thing. And then we'll be going back to, and then we're going to go to the Northeast in June. So yeah, no, we've got some stuff. We got some stuff. I figure by summer we'll be all right. But the January, February, as long as it's cold and flu season and all that stuff.
I know.
We're doing virtual again in February.
Okay.
So, and then March is on the books at the moment. So anyhow, well, I've been seeing Miss Hinesley popping up everywhere lately because she's out on the road, and people are taking her picture and talking about her wonderfulness.
I think, though, honestly, people are not going to budge on her. What I was saying is, I'm just curious of her business model changing because of the whole, that big buy-in cost.
Yeah. So are you guys in? You're only in on the minimum level, right? Which is $5,000. Right. So you're not at $15,000-$20,000.
No. At the very base.
I would be surprised if she's able to retain all of the people that are in at the advisory board level. That to me seems a frivolous expenditure if your budgets are tight. And
totally.
if
everyone's will be.
They will be. And if you have not been happy with the way she treated you, then you're much more inclined to not fight for that money, I think. That's just my opinion. But, I think you're less inclined to fight for money when budgets get tight to go in at that level. Now, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't go in at a $5,000 level in order to do the events. You have to do that in order to do the events. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Which she's probably preparing herself for that too, and she may even make that basic level
free.
10 grand.
Well, I was going to say free. Why?
No,
that's
She's
crazy.
get less and less at that top level, so she's going to have to make it up at somewhere else. And if she'll think like, well, if someone was willing to do 5, what's 5 more just for 10 grand?
Wow. Well, keep me posted on that.
I just have a feeling.
I don't have the balls to ask for that kind of, for any kind of, I don't know. Whitney may disagree. She may think we should go to a membership-based thing when we get our platforms up and running, but I just don't see it. Margarino doesn't have it. I feel like you charge a decent price for your event and you produce the event and you move on. I mean.
Well, exactly. And just, I was going to say, you just have your, the events at a
decent price. Yeah.
That everyone feels like it's for the, good value.
Yeah.
And you're still making, a profit on it,
right.
Then that's good. Like
you start running the numbers. Exactly. You start running the numbers and you see the profitability. I mean, we had to do this. We had to do a business plan, a 5-year plan for our business coach. And we started running the numbers. If we did X number of events at this particular price, keeping our price where it is, which is, if Danielle charges $1,800, ours are $1,200, right? So that's a significant difference per event in a week. And so we started running the numbers and keeping our prices the same, and we are still making quite a lot of money. We'll be wealthy if we do that. Now, granted, we'll have to gear up and hire some more people, but I don't know. I feel like there's no reason to be greedy. And I think she does things in a super first class way. I cannot criticize that, but it can be done in a more authentic and low key way too, and still be effective, very effective. We're finding that.
Yeah.
So
she just wants the horse. She wants this big mega mansion, and she wants, that's the thing. Like,
she wants the powder blue convertible in the horse. And she wants a mega mansion too, does she?
Exactly, make me want to barf.
Well, I think I said this to you before. Somebody told me that a bunch of y'all were Zillowing the cost of her new house.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign when people are doing that. They're definitely telling you, I believe that we have an investment in this new house.
Exactly. And then the horse, it's like, oh yeah, we just bought the horse. Yeah, we're buying the horse's grain. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm still stuck on the hey honey thing. That pisses me off. That to me was lifted exactly out of our vernacular and how we approach our customers. I don't think that's authentic to who she is, and I think she's copied us on that. That's just my opinion. She may have thought of it 2 years ago, but we've been doing Hello Darling for years, a couple years now.
Yeah.
So isn't it funny how the big things don't bother me, but the little things just get under my fingernails and I just want to go.
Well, but it's the little things that like people see and notice, and like that, it's like little, but it's effective, and it's like that's. I mean, I don't know. She's a piece of work. I mean, sometimes when I see that, I just want to like, Danielle, have you ever had an original idea in your life? Like, just have an original idea. Just be authentic to who you are and stop being who other people are. Right.
But, I'm living my life and I'm trying not to get caught up in all that. But thanks for the intel. Totally appreciate it. I had a Zoom call this morning with somebody was doing her virtual thing today. And she said, in fact, I just got the box, and I said, can you open that right in front of me? She goes, I don't know. The label says I'm supposed to wait. I'm like, that's okay. She says, I gotta tell you, I did peek already. So she opened it up, and it was pretty much the box you photographed. It had a candle, and it had a little bracelet, and it had the big Be Brave sticker on the inside. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, her boxes are good, but
her boxes are good. You're getting a cocktail shaker from us. That's it. Live and be well. And a cocktail recipe book. So
I love that.
Be
thinking
about your cocktail recipe. That's the email I've got to get out tomorrow. So be thinking about a cocktail recipe from the ranch.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We always have some good ones.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
All right, darling. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
listen,
I love
have a
hearing
good
from
one.
you.
We'll
You
talk
too.
soon.
You too. Thank
Go
you.
enjoy your drink.
Yeah.
I
Whitney's
got a couple hours till 9.
I'm rattling my margarita. It's kind of gone now, but it does make me feel better. I gotta say.
I had that
calmer.
last night when I was watching the debate.
You did?
It's so hot here that I was
Yeah.
just like, oh.
Well, that was wise. I polished off a half a bottle of Cab, and this morning I just had all kinds of headaches and just really didn't feel good all day. So
I haven't had red wine forever. It's just been so hot here that
Yeah.
just red wine just is not sounding good.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm very weather. I focus on the weather when I choose my beverage, but it's getting a little fallish here now. So red
Oh, I
wine.
love that.
All right,
It's a
kisses
good
and hugs
season.
to you. I'll call you.
Okay,
Thank you for the
you
heads
too.
up. Thanks for the heads up on the check. I'll be watching for
Yeah.
it. All right, sweetie.
Yeah, and if you don't like get it in a week, or just tell me. Like, don't be bashful. Just tell me it didn't come.
Okay. I haven't even.
Dana's really good. So.
Okay. I have not even thought about the accounting part of this. You know,
Oh, okay.
I'll get on the accounting soon, but because we don't have a lot of pressure to, pay bills, I'm starting to pay for the gifts right now. So, that puts some pressure on to take a look at the accounting and who's paid and who hasn't. But, that's next week. I won't be worried about it for a while.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, so you should have it then either next week or the week
Do they
following. She's
typically
pretty
do a
good
hard
about
check, or do
processing.
they want to wire it or do a wire transfer? Or
They usually do a hard check.
okay, good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
I like
just
that
sent her
better.
the W-9, or the email you sent me of the invoice and the W-9. I just
Okay.
sent to her.
All right, I like a check because then I know I've got it and who to credit it to. When I get a transfer or a deposit, the bank doesn't let me know. I have to see it on my statement, and then I don't know who sent it, and it's kind of a mess. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
Have a good night. Okay, sweetie.
You
Bye.
too.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks again. Bye.
Welcome to the message management system. Enter the number of the person for
Okay, so do I save that photo? Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay, so I need to get this out of my eyes. Okay, so let this open a video. A minute or two. Greetings, Doc, and my Wine to Water family. This is Carol Owen from Retreats Resources. I just wanted to send you a message of congratulations and blessings for the work that you're doing It's such an incredible achievement to reach 1 million people with safe water. And having been part of your journey for these many years and been a part of raising money for your efforts, I just want you to know that it's thrilling for me and for Retreats Resources and all of our partners to have been able to contribute as we did to your ventures and to your successes. So gosh, it's so fulfilling, and it makes my heart happy to know you and to follow you and to support the work you're doing. So you have my heart, you have my support. We hope that we're in it for the rest of my life and yours. So congratulations. Hello, Doc, and my Wine to Water family. Wow, 1 million people reached this year with safe drinking water. What an achievement. It's almost mind-boggling. It's been such a thrill for us at Retreats Resources and all of our industry partners to be a part of your journey. We are deeply in love with you and the work that you do. We are super proud of you. And I just want to say that you've given all of us an opportunity to make a difference in the world in the same way that you're out there with your hands in all of these projects and involving so many volunteers and involving so many great folks in the field. For those of us who are doing our own jobs in our own different ways, to be able to support you in such a generous way, we just really are grateful for this opportunity. You've blessed our lives. We hope we've blessed yours, and thank you so much for the work that you do. Don't like that one. Hello, Doc, and our Wine to Water family. It's Carol Owen with Retreats Resources here. Just wanted to send you love and congratulations on reaching your 1 millionth person providing safe drinking water. You've been such a big part of our lives, and we just want to tell you that we're very proud to support you and your efforts. The organization that you've built around the world, the communities that you've been able to build, the lives that you've touched. It's really an amazing achievement. Just wanted you to know, and for all of the viewers to know, that no matter where you are in life, you can make a difference in the world, and we make a difference through Wine to Water in our own unique way. So on behalf of our hospitality industry members, all of the folks that you have inspired over the years, and there have been many of those, we all want to tell you congratulations. We're proud of you. We're on this journey with you for life. So we love you. Thank you for the work that you do. Mwah. That's pretty good. Okay, so messages mail. Maddie. Is that what you said to do? Viewer window. View. Show dim bar. Where's the search thing? Center full screen, mail. Look at search bar. I guess can't do it, but I need to do. That's important. Okay, then I've got them recorded. I can do that later.